Welcome to 5 Minute Friday.
You made it. I love that you made it. And this is a new addition to the Mind Fitness Mentor podcast, where we're going to introduce just 5 quick, simple minutes on a Friday. What's going to be involved? Well, let me tell you, I might have had some stuff go down during the week that I need to talk about. It's going to come on here. I might be reading a book. I'm going to share some insights with you. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to give it a go because this Sunday, it's like my 1-year dance party routine. I have been a podcaster for 12 months. And when I first started, oh my God, to be honest, I was so shitting myself, like literally. Now I'm going to add an additional 5 minutes. So this week, what I wanted to talk about is a book that I do an audio book. So I think I started this maybe 3 or 4 months ago, irrelevant. I was out on the park with my boy this morning, my little beautiful big mastiff who's like 88 kilos. And I was listening to Get Rich Lucky Bitch. So if you haven't read that book before, it's by Denise Duffield Thomas. And it's all about releasing your money blocks and how to have a first-class life. Like, who doesn't want to read that? Like, I don't know any female on the planet that does not want to have a first-class life. And one of the things that she said in there this morning, and I wrote it down because I knew that I'd forget it, right? Gentle self-care beats punishment every day. So gentle self-care beats punishment every day. So hands up if you resonate with that quote. I tell you what happened to me is I just stopped it straight away and I went live on Facebook because I was like, oh, is like the universe speaking to me? Like, is that a private message? Like, listen. And I want to share with you what happened with me this week. So I ran a full moon ceremony on Sunday night, and it's currently Friday here in New Zealand. And the full moon ceremony, if you don't know, is all about releasing all of the things that are holding you back from the previous month, and then working with intention to bring wonderful energy in so that we can focus. So we let go of all the rubbish and then bring in all the new energy. And one of the words that came up for me this month was shame. And I think we might do a 5 or 10 minute or 15 minute about shame. And I'll tell you what happened is I went on an emotional roller coaster ride. So I've called it emotionalized. What did I call it, Sam? I think it's not emotionally triggering. It was emotionally transforming. I've been emotionally transforming this week. So I don't know if you can relate to that. It feels a little bit like this. And it feels like you've been hit by a bus and you feel like you got a hangover and I don't drink. It was like that. That's what it's been like for me this month. So what happened is I noticed that my self-care was non-existent. I was living in my head, and when you live in your head, you're dead. You're dead. You're literally dead because you overanalyze every single thought on the planet. So I was a product of living in your head. Like, maybe you can relate. Maybe you've been there. Maybe you start listening to the internal dialogue and then you start feeling the internal dialogue. And then before you know it, it's like, whoa. So I was processing shame. Like, shame came up for me, and I was just allowing and feeling those emotions, feeling like there was a transformation. But between you and I was feeling exhausted, okay? But there was a transformation, and there still is a transformation. So what I think about when I hear this is gentle self-care beats punishment every day. I was punishing myself, and not intentionally, right? Because we don't do this intentionally, is I was reliving my past to an extreme where I was actually feeling emotional exhaustion. And perhaps you relate to that. And what it did for me is, one, I cried 3 or 4 days this week, which was phenomenal because I loved the crying bit of it. I've never been able to cry before, but I now can cry and I love it and embrace it. But what it also meant was that my energy was really low and flat. It also meant that I was pretty reactive. We won't talk to Sam about that, right? It also meant that I wasn't showing up being the person that I wanted to be. It also meant that I wasn't making the right decisions and moving me forward and moving my life forward. So what I did, and I want to share this with you because I think it was such a valuable lesson that I learned, is for the past 2 or 3 days, I have a habit tracker. I didn't tick it off. It just did not happen, right? So I thought, that's it. The shit's got to end. So I set my alarm 5 a.m. in the morning. And I thought, I'm going back to walking my baby. Now, my baby, as I said before, is a big boy, but when we get to spend time together every single day, it fills my heart and soul, right? So that's the one thing I know. That's one of my self-care. As soon as we get to hang out together, it's just beautiful. And this is what happened. I woke up in the morning. I was like, oh, do I want to get up? I've only had 5 hours sleep. And all the toxic thoughts came through. Put them in the car, came back, grabbed an umbrella. And as I went back into the car, this is what I heard. Dunk, 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 dunk. That was my boy being happy. He's like, Mom, we're back. And I was like, that put the biggest smile on my face. And then I listened to the book this morning on Audible on my walk, and then I heard this powerful message. So I wanted to share with you 3, 4, 5, 6 things that maybe you could do so that you could increase your self-care. And one of them might be meditation, like doing a 5-minute meditation, a 10-minute meditation. Maybe I like Wim Hof every morning I just do a quick, simple 10-minute, a 3 cycle. I love Wim Hof. It could be connecting or going for a walk or going for a swim. It could be having a bath. It could be allowing yourself just to have fresh juices in the morning and beautiful home-cooked meals. It could mean going to the gym and exercising. It could mean taking your shoes off and walking on grass. It could mean drinking your water. It could mean anything. So what is 1 or 2 things that you can do this week that you can intentionally implement, because you've got to have intention behind this, everybody, right? Intentionally implement this week so that your self-care goes up and that punishment goes down so that you feel better, so that you show up with more vitality, that you show up with more energy, so that when people ask you, how are you doing? You can turn around and say, I am freaking fantastic. So this is 5-Minute Friday, everybody, and I would love for you to subscribe to this channel and do me a favor, leave me a comment in the post and let me know if 5-Minute Friday is going to be your jam and we're going to get to hang out every week. Until next week, have a great week, everybody.